First strategy, um, owner financing. So owner financing is something that you and I don't really like, not because of the strategy itself, but because owner financing kills appreciation plays, right? And then what we saw in the past couple of years was we saw the opportunity of appreciation and we felt that owner financing didn't make sense at the time. We'd rather hold them as rentals and get that appreciation,
For
right?
sure.
So what is owner financing? Break that down. What's owner financing?
So owner finance terms get thrown around a lot of like, and there's different like quote unquote definitions of, but like the true definitions of I own a property, whatever I own, a free and clear, I have a deed, whatever it may be. John approaches me and says, I want to buy your house, but I can't afford a loan. I can say to him like, look, I'll finance it to you to whatever price. Say I have a loan, $100,000, but I tell John I'll sell it to him for $200,000 and I make that spread. So it's like I'm owner financing the house to him. I owe $100,000 and my payment is $1,000. I owner finance to John for $200,000 for $2,000. He pays me $2,000. I pay the bank $1,000. I get a spread of $1,000. I owner finance that to John, no matter if I had a debt or not. Or if I, yeah, exactly. If I didn't have a debt, I sold to him for $200,000. I became the bank. I get $2,000 a month. He pays all the taxes, mortgage repairs, everything like that. Downside to that is when I own or finance something, I sign that deed over to him. He owns that house now for $200,000. No matter what I owe against it, $100,000, $150 or zero, I will never get a dollar more than that of the appreciation of that property. Say you bought that in 2019 and now you're trying to sell it in 2023 and say it is now worth $300,000. Well, he's paid down that note of $200,000 to, not talking interest rates or anything, simple math. He's paid it down to $150 and it's worth $300,000. He pays me off. I only get $150. He makes that extra $100,000 on that house. I get nothing from that appreciation, which is why we didn't like that, is because I want that appreciation. And if you had a rental in COVID, before COVID and now afterwards, you got a huge windfall of appreciation. You got a big equity spread now.
Yep.
And if you owner financed, you don't get that. Your payment is fixed. Your principal balance is fixed. You're not going to get any more than that unless that person defaults and you foreclose and get the house back.
So
So like where I think say it's not a bad strategy if you make a full-fledged business out of it, because there are some very successful owner finance people here in San Antonio that do very, very well because that's all they do. And they rotate and they're constantly bringing in properties, constantly sell them, and they do very, very well. But if you're just going to do one owner finance here, one rental here, this thing or the other, that's why we don't like it, because we're not making a full business out of owner financing notes. Like we like, I don't say we like flipping houses, but we like that appreciation piece because we are very young. Now it is great for a more hands-off piece, but I was speaking with somebody about that. It's like there's a lot more upfront work with owner finance than there is rental properties, and so but on the backside there's not as much work.
yeah.
So it's a give and take between the two strategies. So
But coming up, what you can use for owner financing in a different way is you could always buy a house through owner financing. So if you come across a seller
sure.
that has plenty of equity in the property, or they own it free and clear, and they want maybe close to damn near retail, we'll buy a house like that with the right terms. Like if we negotiate terms on that property where we can get the property, they're pretty much giving us the loan and we're making a payment and then we're able to rent it out for a profit.
yeah.
We'll lock that up all day long because our tenant is paying down that payment and we're locked in with a great loan that we don't have to go to any bank for.
Oh, for sure. I love this example when people say, like, around here, say a couple streets down, houses are worth for high 200s, low 300s. I will go up to you, say you own a house for $300,000. I say, I'm going to pay you $1 million for your house.
Yeah.
You take it? And I'm like, oh yeah, I'll take it. Cool. I'm going to pay you $1 a day.
Yep.
I will buy that all day if somebody agrees to that. As you do the math, I only have to pay you $365 a year forever for $1 million. You'll get $1 million.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't give it $10 million. It does. The price does not matter if I can control the terms.
Yeah.
So that is something to think about coming into this.
It's an over exaggeration of what it would be.
Yeah.
But it's exactly what it is. It's with the right terms, price doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Because with time, real estate always makes sense with time. So it doesn't matter what the price is as long as you finance it correctly.
And I love paying off people with cheaper dollars.
Oh yeah.
Because inflation, $100 at the beginning of this year, at the end of this year, is 8% inflation over the year. That $100 is now only worth $92.
Yep.
But now over time, compound that over 10 years, as like you're paying people off with today's dollars off of previous dollars. That's why people love. That's why the Reserve came out and said it. That's like our job is to devalue the dollar.
Yeah.
And just add zeros to the balance sheet. So it's telling you, it's like I want to play their game. It's like that is why they want inflation. That's why the last couple of years, why I think they did what they did and COVID was a perfect example to flood the economy with money to create inflation, because we had such low inflation. Because low inflation and deflation is the worst thing for government budget balance sheets, corporations, debt holders. Is now your debt is getting more expensive and your earning power is going down and your income's going down. So that's why they want that inflation. So I want to do the exact same thing. Is like, I want to buy today at a fixed interest rate of 3% or even 8% if the numbers make sense, because in the future, like I'm going to be paying it off with those active dollars and paying off previous dollars that have been inflated away.
Yeah. So if you're right now, when the market turns, or if it turns, whatever happens, and you're dealing with sellers that they're like, man, these people want retail. Oh, maybe do an owner finance strategy. You know what I mean? We don't mind paying retail if the terms are right, because at that point you get some low financing. And guess what? Here's even the better part for a lot of you guys. But even if you say, oh, but I don't want it. Well, you can always wholesale a deal like that.
We've done it.
Because there's a ton of buyers out there that would love to get their hands on a property like that.
Our most probably eventually will be our most profitable real estate deal that we've done. It was an owner finance deal from a wholesaler that wanted to be bought out.
Yeah. Yep.
He wanted the liquidity today, so we paid him today, and we're going to make the huge windfall at the end when the owner finance terms are done in, I think it's like 2025 or something like that, because of the type of financing that it was set up. So it's like, I will gladly pay those. And like they'd say like installment payments. There's plenty of people out there tell you the way to pitch these deals. And it's very great. It's genius how they present it.
Yeah.
We're like, I will gladly pay you in installment payments. I'm not taking loan, not taking interest rates. I'm just saying, just like I use the example, like they don't do it anymore, but I don't know if you ever did it like a kid, like put something on layaway at Walmart.
Oh yeah. That's how I bought my first bike.
Yeah. Layaway. It's like, I'm doing the exact same thing when I buy that house, except I got to take it home today and not have to wait till I pay it off. It's like, I'll pay you you want $100,000. Look, I'll pay you 110 if I can only pay you $500 a month. Because I can now go out and rent, and taxes are only $250, insurance is $100, that's $850 payment, and I can go rent the thing for $1,300.
Yep.
That is now there's no interest rate, so like I'm making straight principal pay down every single month. So by the time I'm paying that thing off, instead of 30 years, I'm paying that thing off in 10.
So, and then now here's a big kicker. There's an extra added benefit to the seller on this. Because if they sell their home, or let's say it's a rental, whatever it is, and they sell that property, they're going to have a massive tax liability. But if they do these installment plans, they won't. You know, so it won't push them to another tax bracket. It won't it won't harm them tax-wise. So that's another selling feature where it's like, look, you can sell it outright right now, but you're going to have a huge tax implication. Or we can do these installment plans, and you're going to get your money over the course of X number of years. So then you separate that money over a couple years, and it's not going to be as bad, right? So, I mean, great opportunity with owner finance. Get educated on it. Find the people that are educated on it, because those are going to be the people you're going to be partnering with when these times come.